Hey, what's up, everybody? Brian here with the Holy Roller and some Holy Rollers here. And this is Mike and Tiffany. Hey, Amber.
Hey.
And we're going to hear their story. Watch this. Welcome to the Holy Roller, where it's all about playing craps, earning free cruises, and a whole lot more. Thanks for watching, and now let's get rolling. All right, we're here, and let's just start by telling us the story. Okay, how did you find the channel? What happened with all that?
So that was me a little over a year ago. I guess it was around September, just after the pandemic. And honestly, I typically look at cruise videos, and I started to look at craps videos, and I really do love playing craps on a cruise. And when I found the Holy Roller channel, I mean, that was like a match made in heaven. When I just Google searched it through YouTube, craps on a cruise, Holy Roller popped up. So, I mean, that's how I found Holy Roller. I subscribed. Actually, it was back September of 2022, and been a member ever since.
Oh, so one of the first members. Subscribers before I even had membership.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. I would assume so. I think I was about the first 250-ish, roughly.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is great. And then, of course, we're in a cruise together. How did that happen?
So, ironically, this is one of our comp cruises. It's actually our fourth comp cruise since I actually, ran through the strategy.
Now, you've been cruising for years.
So we've been cruising for over 20 years.
Over 20 years.
Yeah.
And you've been paying full price.
Full boat, yeah. Yeah, full boat, no doubt. So when I found the system and I ran it in the very next, so that was in September, we were on a cruise in November. I rolled it for the first time, and that's back in the day when you can get a comp cruise for 800 points.
Yeah.
Or 800.
Now it's 1,200.
Now it's 1,200, but back then it was 800, and I started with $300, and I ran the light in the darkness strategy, and it was a grind for me because there was some dark nights and there were some light nights, but overall, we came out with a 5-day cruise out of Galveston, and that was the next one, then the next one, and then this is our fourth taken, one book, so we're 5 up by rolling that strategy.
So that first time, what was your bankroll?
$300.
$300.
Yeah, because I think one of your first videos was $300.
Yeah,
I was like,
for low rollers.
For
right?
low rollers, but I did run it at $100 don't. So I had to get something going right off the reel, and
wow,
yeah, it was pretty.
So $100. So you put $200 on the table with a bankroll of $300.
Yeah, yeah, and I think the first roll I hit a 3, so that gave me a plus 100. So now I had $400.
Wow.
So I was almost playing with house money at that point, but it was a long roll.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so $300 is a grind, but now you use a little bit more.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
it can be done with 300. That's the thing that when I did it the first time,
Right.
I had 300.
Right.
So when I first did the video, I was like, okay, 300. But then I realized, hey, it's better to have more. Mm-hmm. Because you can stay longer. But man, doing it with 300 is a grind.
Yeah.
But then now we're here together. Okay, this is a comp cruise. You've been on lots of cruises. Diamond Plus, by the way. I'm only Diamond. You're Diamond Plus.
We've been here for a while. Yeah.
So you've been all around cruising. But now, I mean, what does it do for you and your family to be able to have a comped cruise? Because that's where I think Tiffany comes in a little bit.
That's exactly where she comes in at.
Because
Yeah,
you got a cruise which paid for both of you, right?
That's right.
It's a when you get a comp cruise, it's a comp cruise for 2.
Yeah.
So you guys are here on a comp cruise, but you have 2 sons.
We do.
Yeah.
Yep, we do. And I made Prime already in September on the Wonder, which was my annual tiered comp cruise. So we did that in September, and then so for me, by getting to Prime, doesn't do me any good to continue to play unless I was just looking to keep comping. So that's where Tiffany comes into play, where she becomes Prime, and that allows us to have as a family 2 rooms on the same cruises as we would ripple through the comps.
Yeah, and so you had so how'd that happen? So you got like a mat at home on the dining room table?
We did. Yeah, we actually built a very small makeshift craps table, and we practiced as a couple every night. Are we rolling? And we would roll 100 rolls a night.
Yeah,
and so that's
we went through the strategy, just him trying to teach it to me, and then me being confident about what bets to put on the table. So we practiced it pretty much every night for a few weeks, 100 rolls, just to see what happened in those 100 rolls, just to be a little more confident and starting.
Yeah.
I've never been to a craps table. I don't gamble, so this was a first for me, even being in the casino, participating.
But before we got to the table, though, just to be completely, I forwarded her the Holy Roller channel and the Light in the Darkness strategy. I said, these are the 3.
Watch these videos.
Watch these 3.
Yeah.
Which
and go.
Which I did.
And you're very, you told me this, you're very flow chart oriented. So you're like, okay, if that, then what? If that, then what? Which probably would have made my video a little bit better, right? But so you went through all these different scenarios that if it's a 4 or 10, do this. If it's a 5 or 9, do this. If it's a 6 and 8, do this. And so you kind of just followed the system. And I do have to say, I was actually rolling a system the same time you were rolling the Light in the Darkness, and I lost $1,000 rolling the other system. I look over and she's like, I'm up 200 or something like that. I'm like, what? Why am I using my own system? but that's one thing that, and then I started rolling my system as well, and you were being very disciplined to collect when you're supposed to collect, and I was just pressing. And I was even, but you were up again because you were very disciplined. So that was pretty awesome to see somebody actually do my strategy better than me right here.
Well, you stuck to the book.
I did stick
Stuck
to the book.
Right.
Stuck
It's
to
all
the flow
about
chart.
survival. And we've always said it even at home. It's like you have 210 on the table when you would run the Light in the Darkness right off the reel.
Yeah.
And it's all about time at the table and the average bet. So her average bet was at 210. And every roll, even though it wasn't the number that she may get paid on, it was something we did at home often. It was like, look, you've already won. That's 210 on the table. Next roll, 210 on the table.
Yeah.
That's what you're striving for. You're not looking necessarily always to collect that $35. It was to 210 average bet per roll.
And one thing that you were doing, because I usually will take the first hit and put it on the point, but you're like, you know what, forget that. I'm going to just put it on the point to begin with, then collect the first hit, and then you're in the same place.
Correct.
And a point doesn't really hurt you.
That's right.
Yeah, on the original system, the point would hurt you. I started just hopping the point just to get the first payout. So I didn't win as much. But like I said, you were winning more. So good job on that. But we did a video where let's talk about, okay, so how did we meet? Because this was a funny story of you messaged me because we were in the same Facebook group for the cruise. Every cruise has like a Facebook group, and you saw me in there.
That's right.
And you're like, what?
Yeah, it was 2 nights before we actually flew to Miami to catch this ship, and I IM'd you, and I was like, I don't want to be that guy to be like, hey, I've been following your channel for a year, got a bunch of comps. So I reached out to you, and you're like, great, this is fantastic, let's get together. And then since it was only 2 nights before the trip, I didn't tell Tiffany that you were going to be on the ship.
Yeah.
And so I asked you again, another guy that almost looked like a stalker, right? Hey, do you think we can meet up? I'm not going to tell my wife that you're here, and we'll see if she recognizes you. And so that's
and every night you knew, because you watched the videos, every first day I'm always in the casino doing a casino tour.
That's right.
Or a rollout, or both. And so I'm in there doing the tour, and then you guys walk in. What happened there?
We walked in. Amber was sitting at a table, and I walked right past her because I didn't know who she was at that point. And then we were just standing at the craps table, and I looked over and I saw someone with a camera, recording. And I looked again, and I was like, I think that's the guy from Holy Roller. And I said that.
And I'm like, nah, it can't be him. No way.
No, it can't be. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's who that was.
I have to pop in because it was the coolest thing ever to watch. Because Mike was like, I'm not going to say anything. And I watched them for a minute, and then she's like, no, I think it is. And he goes, nah. It's not him. It's not him.
No chance.
And then again, she goes, no, I really think it's him. He goes, nah, no chance. And so I'm sitting like, I text Brian, which I knew he wouldn't get it because he always has his phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think your people are here. This is so exciting. And then he goes, hey, Amber, you're Amber, right? And I said,
yeah, you must be Amber.
Yeah, he goes, you must be Amber. And she goes, what is going on?
Like, is there a camera somewhere? What is happening?
It was so awesome. Okay, that's mine.
That's funny.
And Amber's our producer, so she might come in and remind us of stuff that we need to say. But so then what was funny is we met, we talked, and then I usually do a rollout video. I just finished my tour, and I said, hey, would you want to do the rollout? And so that video we have on the channel here was the first time you actually ever rolled on a real table.
It was.
During that video.
It was.
And I remember you threw it so hard. It was like, wham! But it was awesome. And then, so the first night comes around, and it's time for you to play the strategy.
The first night, yes.
Yeah, how was that?
So I'm gonna be honest. I was a little nervous, and I decided on the first night I was not going to roll. I was just going to concentrate on where to place my bets and how much to bet, and just following the strategy that I had practiced.
Yeah.
So it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was fine once we got past the first night, and just kind of being more confident about how to ask the dealers to place a bet, and sort of getting getting used to the lingo and the communication
and the speed of the game
and
too.
the speed of the game.
Yeah,
Correct.
like right after the dice hit, you have to say your bets right away.
Yes.
Yeah. So you were that first night. You were down a little bit. How did you feel
We were
then?
down a little bit. I wasn't really too worried, just because
the simulations.
we had practiced for a couple of weeks before that, keeping track of kind of starting with the same bankroll and recording.
What did you buy in?
I think it was $600.
Yeah,
About $600.
That's exactly what we practiced at home.
Oh, okay.
The simulation would be $600, and then she would roll 5 nights, would simulate a 7-night cruise. You had 5 nights in the casino, and that's kind of how we
Yeah, and
practiced.
so-
Oh, nice.
It was,
we
knew
calculate
that
the
there was-
points.
Exactly.
So we calculated kind of our losses and wins over those nights, and it seemed like everything kind of averaged out over the 3 or 4
In the
sessions
simulation.
In the
that
simulation.
we did.
And so we've been there. We've been there 5 nights
That's
now, right? So, or is it 6 nights? We've been there. Well, we've been there.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
first night you were down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you were up the second night, right?
No, we were
I
down.
think we were down the first 2 nights.
Oh,
and
first
then,
2 nights.
Yeah, then
Like, but down how much?
a few $100s.
You were like 300 the first
Yeah.
night, and then it was like 400. She was at one point 700 down, and then you came back with that $1,100 night, which put you
Right,
plus.
right.
Which was, and the thing is, then the second night you decided to roll,
I
That's
did
right.
the second
and then
one.
last night you did, a couple nights. Like now that you're rolling, you're making some money because you rolled so great, and I was joking around because I made like $1,000 off of your roll, which really brought me back because I was playing other strategies as well. So great rolling. But now overall, because you stuck with the strategy, very disciplined. Because once you catch a roll, and that's the key.
Yeah.
Once you catch a roll, so the first few nights were you were playing another strategy, like a choppy table strategy.
Right.
Which is like the all-day strategy,
That's
and
right.
you couldn't even get your bets
I
set
couldn't
because
get my DC
it was
set.
like what 2 or 3 rolls on every
That's right.
single
Yeah.
person.
Very
If that,
bad.
it was
So
great.
you went through the worst-case scenario, still was down, but when you're down, do you really feel down if you're getting those points? So talk a little bit about that.
Right, so that's the mindset that I guess Mike really had to
Yeah.
talk to me about, because I was nervous about obviously playing with our money at the table, but
Yeah,
really you have to go in with the mindset that you're looking for the points, 1, and 2, that you come in with a bankroll that's not more than you would pay for a cruise in total.
Oh man, how many have heard me say that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
it's
so,
amazing.
you know, at the end of the night, I know we're going to get there, but at the end of the whole week, it's all about getting to that level, getting to the comp cruise without
Yeah.
paying more than you would pay for it originally.
Yeah.
And then if you get to the prime level, you're getting 2 cruises out of that. So it's a different mindset of thinking when you come to the table with your money and thinking about leaving with a loss, but knowing that it's not the loss that you're looking at, it's the points that you gained and the cruise that you may earn.
Yeah, I mean, on the low end, you're talking $2,000. It's a cruise for 2. So on the low end, you're talking about $2,000 comp cruise. If you're getting 2 of them at prime, that's at the low end. It's $4,000 comp.
That's
Right.
But what did you bring for your bankroll?
So you go ahead.
So we started, I think I started with $600 most
Every
of the
night,
days.
but then overall it was $1,500 for the week.
So
Right.
$1,500. So even if you lost $1,500, and that's the mindset, right?
Yes.
Because
That's
even
right.
if you lost $1,500 and you got 2 cruises out of it, you it might feel bad. Man, I lost $1,500, but you're getting over $4,000 worth of value
That's right.
for $1,500, and paying full price. You understand the value because you've paid full price for years.
Right.
So
Yeah.
anyway, when we first did this, and I know this is a part of our story, was we had that onboard credit, and we had paid for that cruise, and they said onboard credit, use it or lose it, and I said, hey, we're never coming back on a cruise because this is too expensive. I literally said that. So let's just use it, lose it. It's been fun. Maybe in a couple years we'll save up and do it again. But that's when we got the comp cruise, and then it just changed everything. So now that you have this, so this is what happened. Let's tell them the big surprise, because the big surprise is not only did you get the 1,200 points for a free cruise last night. What happened? You came up to me and what did you say?
All right. So last night I made Prime after our session, which
that beats me.
Yeah.
I didn't hit Prime until my third cruise.
That's 2,500 points.
That's right.
In 6 nights.
Right.
And where are you at with your bankroll?
So I think I'm up 500.
So you got 2,500 points and $500 and 2 cruises for 2, and you got it. So you guys are going to be able to take your whole family on a cruise just for the taxes and port fees.
Right.
That's correct.
Now, this is where people say, am I watching an infomercial? Like, what do I have to buy? What do I have to buy? And the thing is, I try to provide value on the channel, and you got it. You got the value being a subscriber all this time. I ask people, give super chat or super thanks or become a member, and that just helps the channel here. But really, Amber and I, the way we grew up, I mean, you've been cruising. When we went cruising for the first time, we thought cruising was for people that were way out of our financial, like there's no, and I know it's not like you guys are rich or anything, but we thought in our mindset, it's for rich people. Let's do it one time just to have that experience. And now when people hear that we cruise once a month, they're like, well, you guys must be rich. I mean, we're paying taxes and port fees, which is less than $500. Sometimes it's like $250 for a cruise. And sometimes it's cheaper to be on the cruise than at home.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's true.
So become a member if you would. And Mike, congratulations, becoming a
I'm
member.
a member, yes. I am a member.
Yeah, he's a member as well. But at the member level, we have what we call viewers and doers. And so the viewers, you could just give, I think it's like $2, $5, whatever, $10. And that really helps out the channel. And you get some perks, some special videos, some secret strategies that I actually showed you guys that you get in the membership channel. But then there's what's called doers. And that's a higher level membership. I mean, the lowest one is like $50 a month. Well, a lot of times people say, oh, $50 a month for a membership, that's expensive. But at that level, if you take a look, they have it where you can, at $50 a month, you'll be able to know where we're at. So you can be on a cruise and get the coaching like you guys did. Which you didn't really need the coaching. You were already there.
She taught me.
But yeah, and I think that's the thing too. You inspired Amber, because Amber would always say, no, I don't want to do that. It's too much money on the table. But after she saw it, you were Amber was right next to you, and she just saw you doing it. And Amber's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And then last 2 nights, Amber's been playing Light in the Darkness, and she's up before, and she's always said, I don't like playing craps because I lose it all, and then you have to win it back. But this time, she actually left up last night. She's like, wow, this is awesome. I'm so glad. Now I know what to do. So thank you for inspiring Amber to try her husband's strategy that she's been
Out there for over a year.
Yeah.
I
exactly.
resisted so long.
Yeah, she resisted for so long, but now she's in. So that's great. So Tiffany, you inspired that. Thank you so much. So consider becoming a member if you would, because there is a higher level membership where you can you come on a cruise with us. It only costs you $1,000 with the membership, and it's not $1,000 that you pay for the membership, but you give us $1,000 and you get the coaching session, and we make sure that we do everything we can so that you leave with at least a free cruise. Now you got to Prime, which is, you're like exceeding expectations at this point.
Shocked. Honestly, Brian, I did it, and it took me 3 cruises to get to Prime. You did it in 6 days. That's like crazy.
That is awesome. And so, yeah, to get to Prime, you get complimentary drinks in the casino. So she came up, because they put a sticker on. She came up at the craps table after they left, checked their points, they came back. She's like, excuse me, would you like a drink from the bar? I can get you a drink. Because the Prime, and then they waive the fee, the 5% fee when you buy in at the table, and then you get the annual cruise. I mean, those are the 3 big ones, I think. Because going on a cruise, if you buy the drink package, it's usually about $100 a day. So this one would have been $700. Plus, you can't buy it for one person, so you have to buy 2. So that's $1,000, $1,400, $1,000 value just for getting Prime on every cruise, so that you don't have to buy that drink package. So there is this fast movement. We talked a little bit about it earlier, but your first experience at the craps table, You didn't roll the dice, but just the whole betting thing and all the yelling, because it does seem kind of chaotic sometimes.
Yes.
How did you deal with that?
So the first night, to be honest, I was anxious when I came up to the table to begin with. I decided not to roll just so I could pay attention to the strategy I was running. But there was a lot of yelling. It's a very social game, which is fun, but trying to learn how to communicate with the dealers, how to place the bet, who the dealer is placing bets for at what time. There's people throwing chips to the stick person in the middle to make bets. So it was a bit of a learning curve.
Sensory overload a little bit?
It was a little bit of a learning curve the first or second night about how to place the bets, how to communicate with the dealer. Just a lot of chaos going on, which is fun. It was fun. I would say by the third night, I kind of got into a rhythm of what was happening. And
just focus on what you're doing.
Right.
Everything else is happening around you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's amazing. And then, so this is probably one of the most funniest parts of this whole story. So we met, we did the little, it was the first night, you rolled for the first time.
That's right.
We're at the craps table. We say, hey, we'll see you tonight, at the craps table. And then we're going to dinner. And we walk up to our table, and this is just ironic, right? We walk up to our table, and guess who's sitting right next to us, assigned by Royal Caribbean, and had no idea. It's either that or Mike is a super stalker. He's like,
He's higher than Diamond Plus.
He's higher than Diamond Plus. He has that little plaque. He's like, I want a table next to Brian and Amber Baldwin.
Yeah, the whole roller. I need the whole roller.
But that was amazing. And we've become really good friends. Having dinner every night, playing the crafts every night has been amazing. And so I just want to say it was great meeting you guys.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And
So fun.
what would you say for people watching? Is there value in this channel or what? Because you actually ran the numbers of how much you...
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so tell us that.
So, without a doubt, I found the Holy Roller channel completely, not necessarily by accident, but marrying the two things I always like to do on a cruise ship. And just by following some of the strategies on the channel allowed me to kind of get those comps. And so from that perspective, I did the numbers of those 5 cruises that we actually earned, and it's over $12,000 with a $300 negative in my overall bankroll.
So you've been keeping track, and overall, as far as dollar amount, you're about down 300.
Down 300
in what, 5 cruises?
In 4 cruises. I have the 5th one that we haven't taken yet.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 cruises, down 300, but what? How much? 12,000.
12,000.
$12,000.
Yeah, over $12,000 because we typically would upgrade ourselves, so that's where the $12,000 comes from.
And that's what I have to tell myself too. I have to tell myself, okay, is this $12,000 worth of value worth me losing 300? And what would you say?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, clearly.
But then you have cruises where you're up. And I know you're up 500 and 2,500 points.
Sure.
Maybe can he have 300?
Yeah, right. No, she's covering my losses this week. She's covering me.
And you were doing a different strategy.
Oh, I was doing something completely different.
Yeah, because you weren't really going for points. You wanted her to get the points. But you wanted to be
social.
At the table. Yeah. So you were doing it all day a little bit, like
we were doing some all-day strategy. Yeah.
Just kind of come bets, don't come bets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
My biggest loss though was $900 out of those 4.
Yeah.
Overall, 900 was the worst I had ever done.
In one cruise?
In one cruise.
Okay, but you won a cruise on that,
Correct.
so you still were coming out ahead.
And that's what we always kept it, or I always kept it at that $1,500 level.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's great. That is so amazing. So, what's next for you guys? You got now is the children are coming, right?
Yes.
The 2 kids.
Right. So the next cruise, we have one planned in March for one of his comps. We're going to try to figure out whether we can get a second cabin for that cruise and see if the kids can come with us. And then we have the second cruise that'll come out in April that we'll have to choose. So.
Wow, so many cruises to choose from.
I know. There's no way we would have been able to do as many cruises we had without doing this system that we run.
Us,
100%.
Same thing with us.
I mean,
and
4 a year is crazy for us, and you're doing
one a month for the content.
For the content.
Gotta do it. But one thing I think is really cool too is it works like this when you have, because Amber does it, I do it. But if you're just doing it, it's a cruise for 2, which is just you.
That's
but
right.
you jumping in changes the game.
Yeah.
Because now you guys get the same offer. You pick a cabin, she chooses a cabin, and you bring 2 people with you. And that's where it really changes the game. So if you have somebody to play with you and do the strategy where you're getting the points and she's getting the points, now you get the same offer, which is really, really awesome, and you bring more people. Now, your kids can also do it.
That's right.
And then you guys will be able to bring 4 free people, and you can bring your parents, and or they have, if they have girlfriends, or all this kind of stuff, or spouses at that point, right?
Yeah.
But you can put the 2 girls in the room and the 2 guys.
That's right.
That's the thing. Once you get them, you get the cruise with like you and someone, and then you and someone. Then when you get here, you can just switch rooms. So that's what we do a lot of times. So that makes it. Think about the value on that. You can just tell somebody, hey, you guys want to go on a cruise with us? Just give us $1,000. It covers everything. And of course, it does cover everything, you and them.
Right.
But $1,000 for a cruise is a great deal for someone. And so if you want, contact me if you want to. No, just join and become a member. That's how we do the $1,000, because it pays for our tax and port fees and yours. Then we give you a coaching session on how you can do the same thing that our lovely friends did here too. So anything else before we go? Amber?
Awesome. So fun.
Did we wrap it up?
I think it's great. I think the last thing is I really like, Mike, how you talked about tracking your everything. So how you guys are very disciplined on tracking every day on the cruise, knowing where your numbers are, what your points are, how much money you've lost, and then even leading up to that, what to do.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You should probably talk a little bit about.
I think a good point. I think another point, kind of in that same line, is going to check your points after every night, so you know where you are, and knowing if you need to stop or if you're close to your next.
Because that's the thing with her. She's
I have to stop.
You have to stop. You're not going to roll tonight, or you're just going to play a different system.
Well, she's gonna probably.
Yeah, I only have 200 points left to get to 3,000, and that's a whole different.
Because you don't want to get 3,000.
Right, because they won't.
We want to get a second cabin on the cruise we have planned.
Okay, so that's something good to know. Once you get a certain level, now you can go and check to see if the cruise that you want is on the 3,000 level. But if you get a 3,000 level and a 2,000 level, you can't downgrade your offer.
Correct.
But a lot of times, the offers that are on the 3, there are a lot of the same ones on the 2. But if it's not there, you can't get a 3 and then say, oh, I want this cruise on the 2,000 level. That's very unique, very interesting. But like I said, you could scan the code, check the dates, see if the date that you want is on the 3,000. If it is, just go for the 3,000 because you get more free play with that. So, but as far as tracking, after every session, track your points. You go to the casino host, ask them how much you got for that session. That gives you an idea of is the system working right? How much did you get on that one? And then you can calculate, because I think you guys play in what, 3 hours each night, around 3 hours each night. So let's talk about this really quick, and we'll be done after this. But this whole higher level thing. So you actually, to be on this cruise, you made too many points
For the cruise that we wanted.
the cruise that you wanted. So always make sure. I always say, always make sure to check the dates so that you have a target. So you hit your target, but we still have one more night.
Right.
You don't want to get the other one because it doesn't have the cruise that you want. So a difference of $50 worth of free play doesn't matter because it doesn't have that cruise.
Correct.
That's right.
I hope that makes sense, but always check the dates and have your target, and don't over target, because you actually overshot it last time.
The last cruise, correct.
But it puts you on this one
did.
where we met.
That's
so
right.
that's awesome.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be, as
Yes.
we say. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh man, it's
Pleasure.
been
It
so
was a
awesome.
pleasure. It was a
But you
pleasure.
at least have to come and play $10 and roll tonight.
That's right.
Please, yes. Please just roll tonight. All right. Hey, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you cruising and rolling on a craps table soon. See ya.